Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to talk about emerging technologies in our supply chain. So when we talk about supply chains, we also talk about digital technologies in our supply chain. In the recent years, we have seen massive development in digital technologies that is helping our supply chains, not just any particular industry or sector, but all the industries and the sector. So when we talk about supply chain, we look into the supplier side, we look into the customer side, we also look in between, which is the procurement, logistic, marketing, and the entire operations of the supply chain. To understand the digital technologies and to understand what type of digital technologies are available for our supply chain, first we need to understand the evolution of digital technologies. So to understand the evolution of digitalization in supply chains, we need to understand the Industrial Revolution. And this diagrams gives us the Industrial Revolution where we started using machines in our factory setup and for train engines, for transport engines and all that in 1800th century. Then after that, in Industry 2.0, we started mass production, and Henry Ford car manufacturing is one of the best example of mass production or the assembly line in 1900th century. Then in 2000, we have seen Industry 3.0 where we had the computers, automated systems, automated manufacturing, production lines, and the electrical items as well, for example, the DVD players and all that. Then in 2010, we started Industry 4.0. There was a big boom into the digital technologies and technologies being used in several different type of industry sectors and the organization. So that was the cyber physical system where we had seen the boom in internet technologies, Wi-Fi system, and networking. So that has emerged the cyber physical system, Internet of Things, networking, machine learning, robotics, drones, and so many other things. Now, this is what we are using right now. We are into the Industry 4.0 era, and we are using those technologies in our supply chains, in our industries, in services and manufacturing as well. Now there is a new industry, which is Industry 5.0, which we are establishing that it has emerged since 2020, where we are moving from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0, which is the transformation. So transformation from Industry 4.0 to 5.0. That is where we are looking at that we have to be more sustainable, we have to be human-centric, and we have to be resilient in our supply chains. Where we're looking at the human-robot collaboration, more cognitive systems, and customization. So customization and mass personalization as well. Mass customization and mass personalization. Why? Because the consumer behavior is changing. We are looking for the product who are closely related to us. So as an example, you got your own, you own a phone, you have a laptop, you might have a PC. That is your personal, that is what we call personal computer or personal phone or mobile phones, which is something personal to you. Not other people in your family are using your phones or your PC or your laptop. So human behavior is changing. They need more personal things which they can use, or they don't want to share it with other people. So more personalization is coming into existence, and that is why when you have personalization, you need to have several different choices based on your personal need. So for example, if I buy an iPhone, I would rather go for a blue color instead of red color, but somebody else in my family, they might like red color. So that is why the customization is also important, because people have different choices, people have different need, people have different type of choices of colors, choices of features and all that. And that is why the cars, any other electronics, it comes in different colors, different, sometimes different features, and sometimes different shapes as well. So the evolution of industries in industrialization up to 5.0, what we can see in this diagram, the first evolution came into existence in the 18th century. For the second revolution, we have seen after almost about 100 years in 19th century. Then the third one, again another 100 years it took to come up with the automation, computers and all that. But after that, when we look at 2000, it just took 10 years because of a big boom in digital technologies, because of the internet, Wi-Fi, 4G and 5G connectivity. We have seen just 10 years. And now we are looking into another 10 years by 2020, which is Industry 5.0 starting. Now you can see that the big boom is still going on, and every week or every month we saw something new coming up in the market, in terms of technologies, in terms of new devices, or which has new functions and all that. So the product development has been rapid since we had the technology, and because of technology we can share information, we can communicate with our supplier, we can communicate with our customers, what they're looking for, what are their needs, what feature they're looking for in a product, and what are their demand pattern, analyzing data. Because of the technology, because of having Internet of Things, because of having Wi-Fi capability and faster internet and networking, we can capture a lot of data in every day, every hour, in any of the organization or any of the supply chain, and that data becomes big data, and that big data we are using to analyze the demand pattern, the supply pattern, and several different type of forecasting and predictions for our supply chains and for our businesses, any industry, any sector as well. So industrial revolution gives us a picture of where we stand right now and what are we doing with those digital technologies, and how we can implement or how we can use those digital technologies in Industry 5.0. Now Industry 5.0, which is ongoing now, even though it is ongoing, it is already here, but what I would say that people or the organization doesn't even have, or many of the organization or sector doesn't even have, or doesn't even have implemented Industry 4.0 in their businesses, either manufacturing or services. Now here we are talking about Industry 5.0. So let's talk about Industry 5.0, what exactly Industry 5.0 is. Now since 2010 we are having Industry 4.0, and most of the businesses or the sectors or the industries are implementing more and more digital technologies, for example robotics, in their manufacturing system. So there is always has been confusion and nervousness that what will happen to the jobs if the businesses are implementing more automation, Internet of Things, having applications being used to analyze the data. There is no need for Excel sheets anymore, and so many other things. So what will happen to the jobs? Now the robots will be working in the industries, and they will be manufacturing or delivering services to your customers. So what will happen to your job? That has been a confusion. And also there has been some other challenges, or I would say other drawbacks having Industry 4.0. Not just the job industry, the jobs, but also when people are using, when organizations are using more automation, and they are becoming more and more efficient in terms of manufacturing and delivering the product, to your customers. At the same time, they are manufacturing more and more because their capability of manufacturing something has increased because of the automation, because of the digital technologies. The supply chains are becoming more and more faster. So what has happened? There is always, when we have the factory capacity to produce more, so we have to run the factory with 100% capacity. So we are producing more and more, and even at the same time, the consumer behavior is changing as well. So when the consumer behavior is changing and the factories are becoming more and more efficient to produce and deliver products to the consumer, what has happened that we are producing more quantities. Now, that is producing more is not a good idea in our supply chains, because when we produce more, we work on push demand. When we are pushing the product toward the consumer, and that need more promotions, discounts, and all that. So that is one thing. And when people buy the product, using automation in factories also given us cost efficiency as well, so we can produce more product with the less cost. So what has happened, the people are buying the cheaper product, and sometimes they buy those products which they do not actually need. So as an example, if you go to market and you try to buy a shirt, and that shirt is on promotion, or 50% discount, let's say, and you think that, okay, instead of one, you can buy two because that is on discount. So you're buying two shirts, but you only need one. So what will happen after some time? You might get bored with that shirt very quickly, because you are using the same shirt again and again because you have two. So what will happen after getting bored? You might throw it away or give it to charity or whatever. And that is where the sustainability kicks in. More the number of products you are buying and not using it for a long time, that is not sustainable for the future of the planet. So it's not sustainable. You are not using, you are consuming more, you are not reusing it, or somebody else is not reusing it. That is where the sustainability comes in. So that is where we are thinking about Industry 5.0, where we can be more and more sustainable in terms of not just using the products, but at the same time producing the product in a way that those products are much more sustainable. And that is what you might have seen in your country, wherever you are. You might have seen the ban on poly bags, the polythene bags or the shopping bags made by plastic. So the government is banning those bags because that has adverse impact on the planet, and that is damaging not just the ground, but the sea or the water as well. So sustainability, these are some of that is just one example of sustainability. Also, the excess clothing which we are not using it for a long time and we are just throwing it away, that goes to either landfill, or now it is going to recycling as well, or maybe reuse it. Some people are buying second hand or pre-owned clothes and now reusing it. And you might have seen there are so many new websites or new stores are being opening, who sell pre-owned stuff or second-hand stuff. There are so many in different countries. In one of them in UK is CEX store, where you can go and sell your pre-owned item, and somebody will go there and buy it from there. Cash generators is another example, and there are several other websites in different countries. British Heart Foundation and some other physical stores are also getting stuffing charity from people. The people, when they don't want anything, they just go and give it to them, and those people are selling and raising funds for cancer research and heart research and some other charitable deed as well. So sustainability is one of the major issue, and we will talk about these examples later on. Sustainability is one of the major issue, and that is why we are moving towards the sustainability. At the same time, what we have seen during COVID-19, during the Ukraine and Russia conflict, and during the Brexit in the UK, when UK came out of European Union, what we have seen, there was so many uncertainties in the supply chain. So resilience means simply means that what will happen if that type of situation arise again, how we are going to cope up with our supply chain. So we have to be resilient, that if that type of challenges happen again, how or what type of strategies we are going to use to make sure that our business doesn't suffer in a way it suffered in the first instance of COVID-19. So if that type of pandemic happen again, I believe businesses are much more prepared to deal with that type of situations. So we have to be resilient. So we have to look at the challenges, what challenges we have faced, and now how can we overcome those challenges. Human-centric, we also need to understand about like the nervousness of the people, that if machines are working in the factory setup, more and more digital technologies, more and more automations is being used in manufacturing, in service industry, and new type of robots coming up who can deal with your customer. And a good example is chatbots on any website. When you go and try to talk to the support people, and on the other end, a computer, not the physical person, not a person, a computer is answering your questions, which has preset answer. Or sometime now, because of the artificial intelligence, the chatbot had the capability to think and come up with a relevant answer to your question as well. So the technology is emerging. So human-centric, that which is approach that humans are going to work with the digital technologies. Humans need to understand those technologies. Humans need to work with those technologies, work with the automation, the robots and all that. So that is a human-centric approach, that all that technology is for the benefit of humans. So if we talk about the contribution of industry to society, that is industry 5.0, that how those industrialization, the digital technologies are contributing to the society. We can't just have the technology, automation, artificial intelligence, data and all that, if that is not giving a good impact or positive impact on the human being. So that is industry 5.0, and that is what we are looking into in our supply chain, that how can we be more sustainable, how can we be more resilient and human centric in our supply chain. So those are the three pillars of industry 5.0. So industry 4.0 is mainly about digital technologies, automation, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and anything related with the technology side. But Industry 5.0, that we use the technologies which is coming from Industry 4.0. At the same time, we use the human-centric. We will be human-centric. The humans work alongside with those technologies and create a better environment, which is sustainable environment, and we become resilient as well, that if such type of challenges happen or difficulties happen in future, how we are going to deal with that. So let's talk about big data. Big data. What is big data? Why do we need that? Why everybody is trying to use big data? Why everybody is trying to capture data? Why the data and how it is being used? So big data is a big question mark, and you might have heard the big data term several times. Big data in any industry, any sector, either is manufacturing or services, or it is a supply chain, logistic, operations, supply management, customer management. Big data is required everywhere, and that is why, because the big data is so important, many of the companies, many of the organizations are built upon big data. That is why the big data is important, because with the big data, more the data we have, much better forecasting or prediction we can do about our products, about our production, about our demand, about our supply, or several different type of analysis. So talk about or let's see in bit more detail what is big data. Okay, to understand big data, we need to understand the characteristics of big data. So there are four main characteristics. One is scale, the volume of big data. Now, in terms of volume, because we are capturing data from everywhere. So as an example, if you are watching this video on YouTube or you're watching on any of the website owners or the people, the organization behind that website, they can always capture the data about you. Which videos you are watching, for how long, what is the length of watching, or any specific scenes what you have liked or disliked or you watched again and again and again. So that all data can be captured, and that data can be used to produce more content, more videos, to make sure that what people are liking, we only produce that type of videos. So as an example again, let's say the bit started now. From this moment, you are watching this moment again and again and again, 3 or 4 times, 5 times. So it can tell me later on, while looking at the data, that how many people are going back and watching this particular moment in the video again and again. And it can tell, for example, YouTube can capture all the data about you, what you are watching on YouTube, and they can give you recommendations based on your watch list. That is what Netflix do. How do Netflix know that they have to start from a particular time stamp or particular moment of a movie where you left watching it? Now, whenever we go back to Netflix know that you are going to watch this. They give you the recommendation based on what you have watched in the history, what is your history, and what you have watched in past. So they will give you a recommendation, and they sometimes give you that how much percentage match it is as well. Now that is what the volume, the scale of big data, because it is, you are capturing data from everywhere. You are capturing data, all the social media website like Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media website. They are capturing data about you, what you like, what you dislike, who are your friends, who are your relatives, who are your family people. They know everything about you. So that is the data. So that is the volume of data. Because of the technology, because of the speed of internet, 5G, because of the fiber optic cables, we got too much speed of the data, which can travel from one place to another place, and we can access or record the data in a very good time. So the volume of data is increasing and increasing and increasing, and that makes it important that we as people, as human beings, can't analyze that much volume of the data. So we need digital technologies to analyze the data. The second one is complexity, the variety of data. As I mentioned already, that when you are using Facebook or Twitter, they knows about, or Instagram, they knows about what you like, what you don't like, what type of post you are watching, what type of reels you are watching, and they give you recommendation based on that. So the variety of data. So we need to understand that there is a lot of variety of data. Just if you just talk about Facebook, they have more than 5,000 data points about you, and they can analyze almost everything, or they can predict almost everything about you if that data can be used properly. Speed, the velocity, the speed of the data. Every day we are capturing a vast amount of data. If we just talk about let's say one flight from London to New Delhi. So one flight from London to New Delhi is about 9 to 8 hours. In that 9 to 8 hour flight, they capture terabytes and terabytes of data. So the data about how all the components are functioning, how the engine is functioning, which people are watching which movie, or seat number, for example, seat number 10, what type of movie that person is watching. Is watching Hindi movies, English movies, Spanish movies, German movies? What type of content they are watching? Are they watching action? They're watching animation, they're watching Disney movies, or they're watching something else? So all that type of data is being captured and being analyzed, that okay, this person is from this origin, and this is the movie this person have watched, and other people from this origin may also like that type of movie. Or should we keep that movie in our library, in our flight library, or not? So that type of data, the speed, the velocity of data we are getting, that is very, very high. So the volume of data, which is in terabytes, the complexity that we have several different data points, which data point we actually need, the speed the data is coming in, we are capturing in just one flight, we are capturing terabytes and hundreds of terabytes of data for that flight. Now imagine about Facebook, we got millions, and on Instagram where you get billions of subscribers on Instagram, and millions of people are going on Instagram every day. Instagram is capturing data. So what do we do with that data? Now, not all the data will be used. Some of the data will be in question because we don't know what to do with that data. Should we use it? Should we sell it to somebody else? Should we share the data with other organization who can use that? Because we are capturing the data, we can't just keep storing it, because more the data we store, more the storage capacity we will require. Data is kind of inventory, and at the same time it can go obsolete as well. So data in question, which is veracity, which is data is in doubt, which we don't know, what do we do with that data? Is it correct or not? What is the accuracy in that data? So that data is the veracity data, which is in doubt. So there are four characteristics of big data. So one is scale, complexity, speed, and data in doubt or data in question. Now some of the people came up with the volume, 4 V's of data analysis, which is volume, variety, velocity, and veracity. So let's have a look very quickly on the diagram and what that diagram talks about data or big data. Now in this, when we are capturing data and the large volumes of data, that is called the volume of data. Now that data is at rest when we are capturing the data and doing nothing with it. So there is large volume of data is coming in, and we are not analyzing, we are not utilizing, or we are not predicting or forecasting through that data. So that data is in rest. The terabytes and exabytes of the existing data in process, which is coming in. The velocity, the data is in motion, which data is coming in. You got the data which is resting, but at the same time more and more data is coming in every day. Again, if you take the example of Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, your own website, or your own organization, your shop, or your outlet, where the people are, how much footfall you have every day, how much footfall you have on Mondays, what type of people are coming in, what are their demand, what do they like, what they don't like, what type of product they are choosing, what are your fast selling product, that type of data. Even if you have an ice cream parlor on a beach, you can capture the data over there. So what type of people, or which from which country the people are coming from. So if the people are coming from, let's say, on a particular beach, people are coming from Germany or Austria or any other nearby countries, so you know that the Austrian people or German people are coming to this beach, and they might like some German items over here. So maybe the ice cream, which is only available in Germany. As an example, when I talk about ice cream, gelato from Italy. So if Italian people are coming, so they might like gelatos there. So gelato is available. You can keep gelato in your ice cream parlor. And you can also capture the data what type of ice cream is your fast selling ice cream. So make sure that you can stock that ice cream. So having the data is very, very important. And at the same time, you need to have that data into the motion, which is the incoming motion. You're coming in. So the data coming in, you keep analyzing the data day by day, hour by hour, week by week, month by month, and make the informed decision with that data. Variety, that as we talked about, there are different type of data. There are so many varieties. So if we look at these points here, there are different variety of data. If that is about people, so what we can say, the red is the people from England, blue is people from Australia, black is people from New Zealand, purple is people from Austria, gray is people from Germany, and any country. So that's just for example. So data in many forms. It could be the structured data, it could be unstructured data as well. It could be text, it could be the pictures, it could be the videos, it could be the books, it could be the journal articles, and several different type of data. So there is a lot of variety of data available. Even though when you write your academic piece of work and you look for a variety of sources to find articles or find information, so it could be the website, it could be the documents, it could be the journal articles, it could be something else, or YouTube videos, and that is a variety of data. So we need to compile and that data and come up with the informed decision. That is what is a very critical or the difficult part when we have large amount of data. Now the final one is veracity, where data is in doubt. So when we are uncertain due to data inconsistency, the one day we are capturing a different type of data, the other day we are capturing totally different type of data. So how do we join that data? How do we make informed decision with that data? So that's 4 V's of data, which is which is the 4 characteristics of big data as well. So data is having that 4 V's or understanding in big data is very, very important. So how does that work in our supply chain? What do we do with that data? We understand that there are different type of data. Data is in rest, data is in motion, data is in many forms, different forms. So there is a lot of variety, and data which is, some data will be in doubt, which we don't know. What do we do with that? Is it consistent? Is it accurate or not? So what do we do with that data, those type of datas in our supply chain? Now, the very first thing that our mindset about data is changing because of the big boom in digital technologies, because of the trend, the markets are changing as well. And so do the data is changing. The mindset about the data is changing. Earlier, we used to say that whoever had the data, that organization is the king, because they have a lot of data and they can analyze the data and they can capture the demand forecast and they can capture the supply forecast and all that details. Now that is a old model. Now few companies were generating data and others were consuming data. New model is everybody is generating data and everybody is consuming data as well. If I say that you are not generating data, that would be wrong. If I say you are not consuming data, that would be wrong as well. So while you are watching this video, you are generating data for the website, for YouTube, or for any other organization, whoever have access to the portal where you are watching the video. So the new model, that everybody is generating the data and we should share the data between them and make sure that we make the informed decision based on the data. So as an example, your supplier is sharing data with you, or you are sharing your supplier, you are sharing your demand data with your supplier. Your supplier is sharing the inventory data with you. So both of you are informed that how much inventory your supplier got, you know that, and how much demand you have for a particular product or the components, your supplier knows about it as well. So when that data is available for both of the parties, then you can make informed decision in very good time or as quickly as possible. Now, if we look at this diagram gives us a pyramid and how the data is working in a supply chain. So initially, if you look at the bottom of this diagram, where we have the data which is unorganized and that need to be processed. So we got the raw data, which is data the coming in, or data is resting, the volume and the velocity. So we got the data resting, we have the data, and more data is coming in, but that is also unorganized, which is unstructured. We don't know what do we do with that. So as an example, level of inventory at the end of financial period, that we have the inventory, but what do we do with that inventory? Now that data, so what we are going to do, that data is too much, which is the bulky data. What we need to do is we need to create, or we need to take out the relevant information out of that data while analyzing the data. So data has been gathered, processed and organized and structured in a given context. So for example, you are looking for data which is particularly about the inventory of a particular product. You can extract that data from that pile of data, or terabytes of data. You can extract that data about the inventory based on the each SKU, and you can analyze it. And that becomes, when you extract the data and compile it together, that this data is just for the inventory for a particular SKU, for a particular component, or for a particular product, that becomes information for you. Now, once you have that information, you need to understand that information. So to understand that information, you need to examine, you need to analyze it, that what is happening with that inventory, how much you are selling, what are the sales of that product in every week, every month, or last week, or last 3 months time, or in the whole year. So to understand the sales, you can predict, or you can understand based on the data of past events. You can predict that, okay, in January, Feb and March this product was selling, but after March, April, May, June, it didn't sell well. Why? It could be a reason that because this item is for not meant for summer period, or people are not going to buy or use this item in summers, which is the peak summers is April, May, June, July, and people are not buying it. And as soon as the winter start or the autumn start, which is in September, October, November, December, the sales picks up again. So you have that data. Until unless you have that sales data, how many you are selling in each month or each week or any particular event, you can't understand that. So based on your understanding, now you can make informed decisions. For example, how much inventory would you require or would you need in January? How much inventory you will need in Feb, or in June, July, August, or when the sales are down? Should you keep the inventory? Should you order more inventory to your supplier? When the sales picks up in September, October, November, when should you be ordering more inventory or more products from your supplier? Based on the supplier lead time, based on how long the supplier will take to manufacture and deliver, when should you order, what will be the frequency of your order. So that data analysis will give you all that type of understanding when you capture different type of data together and come up with a better understanding of it. So once we understand the data, we can have several different type of analysis in our supply chain. So, for example, here is a list of some of the analysis. This list is not exhausted. There could be many different type of data analysis available as well. So, spend analysis: how much you should be spending. Risk analysis: is there any risk associated? Performance benchmarking: are we performing in a way we should, or the standards the benchmarks we have about performance? What is our performance against our competitors? Contract compliance: who is complying with contract, or who is in breach, or who is not complying with contract. So the different type of price and cost analysis are very important one. Financial analysis, demand forecasting, inventory management. So all those type of analysis are not possible until unless we have the data available. Now, in the next session we will talk about Internet of Things in a supply chain.